if people, if we have to decide between teams, the upper teams from the ranking the previous year get preference. And if they back themselves, they can win this tournament. Then yeah, then they can get the wild card. Doesn't matter their ranking. So that's. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the European Ultimate Federation coverage of the Summer Tours. We're here in Heilbronn, this matchup between 7Schwaben from Stuttgart, Germany, against Gentle from Ghent, Belgium. I'm Ravi Vasudevan, joined by Christian Gaffney. Christian, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. It's a beautiful, hot, sunny day. I'm looking forward to watching some good Ultimate out here.
All right, so we'll start things off soon. Boomalal is going to get things going. Side stack from Gentle. Nice move from Gentle. They go to the end zone. Novak's in the area. Can he win the battle? No, he cannot. Nicely broken up there by number 54, Konstantin Schüle for 7Schwaben, and they get a chance for a break early.
And maybe we're seeing a little bit of early game jitters. It looked like there was a lot of space on offense, but we had a forced rush throw and an unforced error first from Gentle. Let's see if 7Schwaben can capitalize here.
7Schwaben coming themselves out of a little vertical stack. Finally get themselves back up to Schlipf. Happy to dump and swing. The Gentle defense causing a lot of pressure now. Loads of passes, but not a lot of vertical movement here from Schwaben. Big cut goes up, and it's blocked and tipped. And Gentle get it back. Looking to quickly put it in is Lucas Bouchon, import from Noisy-le-Sec. Boomalal gets it back to Bouchon. Looking in the end zone. Not quite there yet. That's a shot for goal, and Novak collects this one, and it's 1-0 for Gentle.
And we're underway. 7Schwaben will be kicking themselves. They had a really nice chance on the first point to get the break, get a little momentum at the beginning of the game, but we're still on serve, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward to their first O point.
So Christian, what can you tell me about these two teams and where they're situated? We know this is the big last weekend of the EUCS ranking system. What are these teams playing for?
So, right now we've got Gentle sitting at a comfortable 6th place in the ranking system. They're having a great season. They're looking like a really strong team this year. No surprise out of Belgium, sort of ultimate hotspot these days. And 7Schwaben are lower in the rankings. They're 34th right now. So Gentle is looking to come out with a strong performance and preserve their spot, obviously looking to maximize their ranking going into EUCF, so they get favorable matchups. And 7Schwaben are playing spoiler. They're looking to shoot the moon. If they can win this tournament, they can get a backdoor bid into the finals, into EUCF. Otherwise, they're looking to see if they can upset some of the teams in front of them.
So we'll see 7Schwaben's O-line come out for the first time. Let's see if they can play a little better than their D-line offense, who struggled a lot. Allgeier now. He launches deep immediately. Looking for Kesper. Kesper's underneath it, but that's broken up by Gentle. That's Benjamin Zwarts with the D. And now the Gentle D-line are coming back screaming. Vertical stack for Gentle. Eventually find the swing across. Cotton with it on the sideline. Did he manage to toe it in? Yes, he did. Looking for options, finds a Fori. Nice give and go. Great inside shot there over to Willems. And this D-line offense just looks super comfortable as Willems now has it on the end zone line. Willems finds a Fori against the 7Schwaben zone. Looking for options, eventually finds Zwarts. There's a block there, but I think it's going to come back on a strip. Zwart's looking for an option in the end zone, as it looks like this Stuttgart zone has broken apart into person. Nice stand there, but eventually Cotton finds Dante Simoons for the goal and gentle break.
So what I'm seeing right off the bat here is we've got a stylistic difference in their offenses. We've got 7Schwaben playing primarily a vert stack, while Gentle is going with the more common meta these days, which is the hoe stack spread set plays and then transitioning it to vert as they get into their end zone offense. But what these teams have in common is that they're both really looking to shoot it. 7Schwaben will play with no fear, as you saw there. Not afraid to grip it, rip it, and ship it on the first pass. And for them, it's really important they can come down with those deep balls.
What do you think about an O-line there having a zone in the pocket for that turn?
I think that's plays to their strength. They might have a bit of an athletic disadvantage against this big, young, frothing Gentle team. And also, I think they're lower on numbers. So it's a smart strategy, especially in this heat, to really deal with fatigue and getting through the whole weekend. So I like the look from them. I think it's a wise choice.
Have you played either of these teams yet this season while you were on Wall City earlier?
I believe we haven't played 7Schwaben yet.
I think both you and Gentle were at a lead invite, but I don't remember if you matched up or not.
I'll jog my memory during this point.
Afori with the pull. 7Schwaben going to see if they can answer that one. Allgeier. Allgeier and Wolfnagel working together. And a bit more small ball here from Schwaben as Gentle come into a sort of 3-3-1 zone. Looks like a sort of zone around the handlers with person-to-person defense down in the cutters. Hammer goes over the top to Wolfnagel. Wolfnagel gets it into the center. That's Schwab. Much better movement here from Schwaben. Schwab now has it. Looking at a sort of clustered stack. Gets to Allgeier. Now nice handling movement to Allgeier into power position. Goes to the goal, and that one's just a little too far, and they squander another scoring opportunity. Gentle with a chance for another break.
7Schwaben really marched it down nicely there with no pressure. There's no wind this game. It looked like they were in full control and just a little bit of a miss throw on that final pass.
So we'll see Gentle here, as you said before, coming out of a sort of host stack. But there, just a swing pass too far. And now Schwaben have a very short field to work with, as Wolfnagel goes to pick this one up for the Stuttgart side. See them isolating Allgeier off the front of the stack. Eventually doesn't like what he finds. Just to the front of the cone. Might have been a little messy, but it worked, and they got themselves on the board. It's now 2-1, Gentle still up.
And that's a goal for Tobias Kaiser. He's one of their main players, the lefty. You'll see him in the handler space, and he's one of these confident huckers who's really not afraid to rip it into the end zone when he sees something he likes. Ravi, to answer your earlier question, Wall City did play against Gentle at a lead invite. My memory is failing me, but it was a great game. Yeah. We won by 2 points. We always have really close games against Gentle. High spirit, high intensity, great battles that are always decided by 1, 2, or 3 points. With Gentle, it really depends on who's there that weekend. They have a really high-end talent, and so we definitely benefited by Toby DeCrana being in the U.S. He's always a threat. And so we were happy to take the win, and wouldn't be surprised to see them again at EUCF at some point.
Speaking at their top end, Toby DeCrana is also not here. Do you have any words about what's going on? So far we haven't seen Lander DeCrana is there with his shirt off. Doesn't look like he's really in this game. I haven't seen Arthur van de Vega yet. What's going on with some of the top end of Gentle?
The DeCranas are all over the place. So we've got Toby, who I hear is relaxing in the south of France with his partner. Sounds nice. I believe he might have an injury he's carrying these days. Lander is healthy, but he's really trying to prioritize Australia right now, so a lot of the national team boys are going not too hard this weekend to preserve their legs and really get ready for Worlds. But then we've got the youngest Van de Vega, the third, proud to introduce Staff. Sorry, not Van de Vega, DeCrana. My apologies.
As just there, we get a shot from Novak to Bouchon, the international connection working out for Gentle. The check to the Frenchman. And Gentle get themselves up 3-1 now. That was just very easy from the Gentle O-line. Sorry, continue your Dekrana story.
Third Dekrana, Staff. He's a U20 superstar, up-and-comer. I'm sure the athletic genes run in the family, so keep an eye on him. He's number 22. And one thing I love about this matchup is that we've got brothers on both sides. Ultimate families are becoming more and more common as the sport grows. So not only do we have the Dekranas on one side, with the Van der Vegas as well, but on the 7Schwaben side, we've got the Schlachters. Two of them on the mixed team this year, one a practice player, one on the actual the international squad. So keep an eye out for them. They're two of the stronger players on the 7Schwaben team.
So 3-1 here. We do see Arthur Van de Vega out there discussing to his line. Again, with a shirt on and sandals. It appears like he's not playing this game.
Not playing, but he looks comfortable, sort of slowly sauntering off the field. He's having a nice time. We can excuse that because he's riding with a knee injury, so go as slow as you need. And we wish him a speedy recovery. He's really the rock at the center of the handling set on their O-line. He's a really great player. Really controls the game. I've got a lot of respect for him as an opponent and really wish him a speedy recovery.
So there we have Ferdinand Haas walking the disc to the middle of the field. I think I've been calling him Wolfnagel earlier this game. Sorry, my apologies. But it is indeed Haas. Gets it over to Algaya, one of the two number 15s that this team has. And that just off the hands of the Schwaben player. And Gentle with a chance to extend their lead. There we've got Dante Simons kicking things off, getting it over to Willems. Willems and Simons working together. Little handler 1-2. Lay out for the save, and he managed to do it. Dante Simons, I believe, is a national team player, and there, one bad throw deserves another, and he gives the disc right back to Schwaben. Big shot up from 7Schwaben. They find Daniel Schenkel on the sideline, but I believe it's out of bounds. And disc will go back in the hands of Gentle. Benjamin Zwarts this time to pick up. Simons in the backfield. A little bit of discussion of where to bring the disc in. They found their place. Simons. Simons and Zwarts working together this time. Nice inside pass over to Van der Moer. Van der Moer to Simons. Looks to Zwarts just on the goal line. Zwarts surveying options, gets the middle to Simons. Still a little bit messy, this Gentle O-line red zone offense. Or D-line red zone offense, that is. And there's another around break and another squandered opportunity. Just not getting movement here in the end zone. Up line to Haas. Haas over to Schenkel. Great inside shot to Algaya. Schwaben here a little more patient. Happy to just move things around. Inside shot, and that one's taken away by number 25. That's Roel de Koning, and I believe there's a discussion on the field.
I have to say, Robbie, I'm a little bit surprised with the sloppy play so far. 7Schwaben, usually a very crafty, good offensive team that doesn't make a lot of unforced errors. I wonder if nerves are at play in the first game.
Yeah, it could be nerves, could be the Gentle defense, hard to say. Siedler now, back to Algaya. Algaya finds Haas, nice little switch there by the handler defenders by Gentle. Shot to the end zone, and that one's going to work out. Number 24, Daniel Schenkel with the goal. And 7Schwaben hold on for dear life, 3-2.
That's an important score to keep this game close. They'll be very pleased with that long point with a lot of back and forth to have finally punched it in. And while we take this little break, let me point out that I misidentified my number 15s. It was Allgäu who I was referring to earlier. Apologies to the 7Schwaben. Es tut mir leid, as we say.
They told me before the game that they would not fault us for mixing up the two 15s. They said it's our bad, so
thank goodness.
They're not gonna worry about it. I don't know if the fans at home will forgive you, but the 7Schwaben won't worry about it.
A weight has lifted off my shoulders.
Can you talk a little bit about the Gentle D-line there, which is a very strong team? Had, I think, 3 opportunities in the red zone and just couldn't make anything out of it. Seems like they were trying to work through their handlers. As a handler who's probably played a bit of nice end zone offenses yourself, what did you think you saw there that was giving them trouble?
I thought they had a nice structure, and there was a little bit of problem with execution. We saw one pass that had to be saved with a big layout. The next one was an open inside that just hit the ground a little too early. I would expect them to clean it up, but I do think that with so many key absences this tournament, they're experimenting with some different lines. It might take them a little bit of time to get their chemistry, as some of those D-line key players rotate onto the O-line, and the D-line now has to figure out who they're running through, who's setting the tone, who's keeping things clean near the end zone.
Speaking of setting the tone, this tone from this Gentle offense is just off to the races. Bouchon there to Boomalal, and that's just before you could even finish your sentence, basically. They're in the end zone without any pressure at all. Gentle's up 4-2 now here in this Summer Tour match.
And that's the Gentle we're used to. That was a beautiful, clean point, like a knife through butter, really taking the initiative. Before this game, there was definitely a big difference in sort of energy as we saw going into the game, and that can be so important here. Gentle was topless, laying out in the sun with Eminem blasting in the background, real classic sports music getting pumped up, while 7Schwaben with the sort of more German respect for the sun were staying in the shade.
Yeah.
Both have their benefits. One gets you hyped, the other keeps you cool. Only time will tell which works out. Also possible that some of the Gentle players are trying to get their base tan going, so that when it comes to Australia, with their sort of thin ozone and strong sun, they're not overwhelmed.
Interesting strategy.
This is good preparation for that, too.
All kinds of strategy going on here at the Summer Tour. It's not just about the games on the field. It's about the long game.
Layers upon layers, truly.
Another battle that Gentle won. I saw that both teams were warming up in green, and Gentle the ones playing in green, so they must have won the flip for color. Very key, important battle to get to play in what you want. Haas now, seeing if he can answer, gets to Allgäu. Those two handlers really the center point of this offense. Nice swing across. There's the deep shot to Schenkel again. He's got steps. Is he going to make it into the end zone? Yes. Oh, just off the fingertips. A little bit of loss of focus there, and he's going to be kicking himself for that one, Christian.
Indeed, indeed. But again, beautiful deep shot, always making the cuts, never afraid to throw it.
Really looked good. I was shocked. He could have easily clamped that down with 2 hands. They went a little too casual for it. Sometimes when the disc is too easy to catch, that's when the mistakes happen.
And props to the Gentle defender for really making a run on it. A lot of times the footsteps is all it takes to get the D.
So Gentle coming out their D-line again in this horizontal stack set. So far, all the initiation cuts cut off well by Schwaben's defense. Schwartz now has it on the sideline. Doesn't like the upline cut before he's calling for the scuba across the field. It becomes a blade. There's going to be some pressure there before he handles it well. Before with the scuba himself. That's the throw I wanted, he's saying. Schwaben's O-line defense here causing some troubles. Gentle not really able to move forward. Or it's just that I say that Willems gets the shot across. Schwaben again going in this O-line zone. Try and save their legs a bit. And they works out for him as the throw goes immediately to a Schwaben player. Allgäu now. Haas with it. See if they can set up a nice deep shot to Schenkel again. Here they have Schlechter. It's looking pretty good, a lot more confident from Schwaben. Allgäu and Haas working together. Nice give-go for the upline. Allgäu has it in power position. Inside shot there, goes to Allgäu. Can he keep his toes in? He goes for the greatest. I think he was out the whole time anyways, and another opportunity lost for Stuttgart. Here we see Gentle again starting in that horizontal set. One player there starting a little bit closer to the disc, isolating himself. Squeezing passes through are this Gentle side. Eventually get it across the stope. Ofori working in the backfield here. Schwartz on the sideline. Fakes the big one, goes across. Ofori now. Ofori and Van Bogart now working in the backfield. And that throw just wayward. A little bit of more sloppiness here for this Gentle D-line. They're going to want to clean that up later in this game, but right now they're giving the opportunity to 7Schwaben. Haas goes to pick up as all their players go to the end zone. Shot there, and that one's eventually going to work out, and Gentle get a score. Sorry, Stuttgart get a score, and the score is now 4-3. Gentle still in front.
I have to say, the 7Schwaben zone is looking really good here. Their strategy's paying off. They got 2 Ds there. And one thing I really like about it is that even though it's not traditional zone weather, it's unusual for an O-line to play zone D, and a lot of D-lines don't get to practice against it very often. Mm-hmm. It's not something you would typically do at practice, not something you see a lot at tournaments. It's possible this is, some of the first zone offense that this D-line is playing this year. So even though it looks like everything should be available, they're just faced with a new situation. It's really making them think, and they're throwing it right to the 7Schwaben defense, and credit to them for making those Ds happen. Yeah,
I actually really like it usually as a coach to have, especially if you have a deep, like a huck turnover, which do happen in the sport quite a lot, to have a sort of zone look for the exact reasons you said. D-line offense is not ready for it, and also oftentimes O-line players aren't the best man-to-man defenders anyway, so I agree with you. I like what 7Schwaben's doing here with their strategy.
As a former O-liner, I can totally agree that I was much more comfortable in a zone than a hard stick-next-to-your-person defense.
So Gentle's O-line come back out. They're starting a split stack, 2-3 on either side. Isolated on the 2 side this time. Schwaben looking a bit junky in this look. Maybe trying to stop that give-go motion that's been working for Gentle so much as their O-line marches up the field. And there we see the little Dekrana, with 22 on the sideline there. Krusak, the Czech, goes to his Czech compatriot Dave Novak on the sideline, and that's easy money for the score as Sebastian Mons collects the goal, 5-3 for Gentle.
Ravi, I hate to correct you, but that's the young Dekrana, not the little one. That's a big boy right there, and certainly still growing. So
I think he might be the littlest of the 3 still.
Littlest of the 3, but bigger than you and I both. Maybe put together. I wouldn't want to face him in a deep battle, let's say that. Ravi, you know a lot about this new EUCF ranking system.
I've heard about it.
You've heard about it. You're one of the architects. What does it mean for these 2 teams to sort of come away with a win? It's not really the binary of win or loss now. It matters how many points you get. So what are these teams hoping to accomplish in order to improve their ranking?
Yeah, so if you go to the lovely website, ranking.ultimatefederation.eu, and go to the matchup tab, you can actually put both teams in there. And when I see Gentle versus 7Schwaben, you see they have a rating difference of about 555 points right now, which expects Gentle to win this game by 15 to 8.2. So actually what Gentle need to do to hold their ranking here is win by 15-8. If they want to improve their ranking from this game, they got to win by more than that. So 7Schwaben is in a bit of a preferable situation as they are playing a lot tighter so far. Gentle, if they don't want to move down, they're going to have to win by a lot more than they're doing so far.
I see.
So here we see 7Schwaben's line come out. Gentle coming in strict match defense this time, just trying to out-athlete the opponents. Nice movement here from 7Schwaben. Really static at the moment. That's a wayward push pass up behind the back head. I don't know what that was, but Gentle now, very short field. And that's a very, oh, did he manage to hold that one in? Discussions abound. Bumlaw's calling it a goal from the sideline. He's already walking to the field, ready to go. And it looks like Stuttgart's going to agree, and that is a break, 5-3.
Well, good on Gentle. They've cashed in another break, aiming for that 15-8 win like we talked about.
Yeah, a bit sloppy there on the handler resets. I was talking about Stuttgart's good movement, and then all of a sudden that one player, I feel like, held on to it till about stall 8 before engaging his reset, and then had to go with that push pass over the head.
That's one thing every coach will tell you. You got to look to the dump way earlier than you think.
And commit with your body and your whole self. One thing I can't stand is a player just like glancing at me and looking away, and yeah, what can I do with that as a handler?
I don't like anyone looking at me. One thing I saw there, at the back of the stack, you said they were coming out in a tight man trying to out-athlete them, but I did see actually a nice switch at the back of the stack. So maybe they're learning that 7Schwaben are really looking for that huck game, sitting someone in the back of that stack, really preparing for that, and maybe when they didn't get that shot that they usually do, that's what amounted to a little bit of more pressure on the handlers. So keep an eye out for those smart switches in the stack. It's a lot easier against the vert stack, so I think Gentle's really, really wise to try to pull that out.
So we'll see if Stuttgart here can respond. Sun is getting higher, the temperature's rising. It's a scorcher today here, Christian. See how that plays in, fatigue-wise, throughout this day and throughout this game. Haas now goes across. Finds Kramer. Kramer swings it back to, I think that's Allgaier again, sorry. Nice dump over the defender. There's the deep shot that they love to throw. That one definitely is going to sit right into the Gentle defender, and they're going to scoop that one up easily. Gentle now on the counter attack. Hammer to Ofori. Brega gets the shot across the side over to Bogart. Bogart up the line to De Stoop. De Stoop goes deep, and is this one going to work out perfectly? It does. That's Aaron Vliege with the goal, and Gentle punch in another break, inching towards that 15-8 victory.
They're on a little bit of a roll here. What we saw there is by catching that deep D, 7Schwaben were not able to set up their zone. And it was to their detriment. Gentle really punched it up the line very quickly for that turn.
You see here the blade, that throw just not on. You had to put that one flat out into space if you wanted it to work out. He blades it directly to the Gentle defender. Then they're off to the races. No time for the zone, like you said.
Gentle defender, a bit of a misnomer there. That was some aggressive D, and it worked out for them. Maybe they're trying to lull their opponents into a false sense of security by going under the Gentle name.
Sounds like a Belgian strategy.
Yep. Layers upon layers, as we say.
So 7-3 the score here. If you're coaching and you're on the Gentle side, do you put in a crossover a few players at this point? Try and punch that in, break for half, or keep the D-line rolling?
I'm keeping the D-line rolling. They got their first point on the offense after the turn. It was really solid, and I want to keep that going. I want them to get their chemistry so that we have all the games in the weekend, and maybe against some tougher opponents, that they're really ready. Because you can't take those opportunities for granted. There's been a lot of turns this game, but I expect the Ultimate to get cleaner over the weekend. In this no-win situation, breaks are going to be precious.
It looks like there's a timeout on the field. I think Stuttgart think there's a timeout on the field. Gentle don't seem to be acting like it. But either way, we'll take a quick break here. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Ik zie het probleem niet. Vangen voor het? Ja. Geen onverwachte vulling. Ja. Alleen niet altijd, want hij lag er wel volledig rond. Hij moest wel meters doen. Dat is weg, hè? Ja. Hij was nog centimeter nodig. Hij was wel nog op de
We're back out of that timeout. Christian Gaffney, you said earlier you should throw the D-line back out there. Seems Gentle has not agreed with you. A lot of O-line players crossing over. Luka Bashon there with the pull. As you see, Hrushak and Novak, the Czechs also there. It seems like a full O-line switch. It might be a heat thing after your D-line's been out there for, I think, 3 points in a row. Maybe give them a rest. They've earned it. Allgaier now swinging across for Stuttgart. Can they play better against this O-line defense from Gentle? They seem to also have made some personnel changes. Siedler. Siedler swinging it back. Schwab now on the sideline. Big inside shot. That one finds Schenkel. He goes deep immediately. And that over the top is Benjamin Schettler, as they do punch one in against Gentle's O-line defense.
And I like that aggressiveness there. They're not shy about hucking it. Even when things aren't going their way, they stay looking for the end zone. I think that's really important to keep their confidence up. That one was maybe less of an open person and more of a person who was open vertically. He had a little bit of height on his defender. The handler saw that, floated it high, and let his big man do the work.
So now the O-line of Gentle's going to have to go back out there again with the tail between their legs after they showed the D-line that, yeah, you guys are the specialists at this. We'll take over from here, though.
As a D-line, you love to see that. You know, this is our job.
Yeah. So here, Gentle with a chance to take half. If they can get this one 8-4, they'll be on pace to get that coveted 15-8 victory that they're aiming for. Scoreboard's wrong here. It says 5-4. It's actually 7-4. See if we can get that corrected for you. Luca Bachon with the disc in the middle of the field. Goes to the huck over the top. That's Sebastian Mons looking for it, and he comes down with it. Another throw to somebody that was open vertically, but not horizontally. And Gentle take half 8-4.
As we talked about earlier, both these teams really not afraid to just put it out there, let their athletes do the work. You love to see that. That's good, fun, ultimate. Put two athletes under the disc and see who comes away with it. That was a nice read, nice box out, nice grab. Maybe even a little bit of a nice and one. Who can say?
Who could say? It's halftime here at the EUF Summer Tour. We'll be back with you in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Ja, dat ook. Ja, das ist hier. Ja, dann. Ja, lass jetzt machen, du kriegst sonst die Sachen nicht drauf, richtig. Wobei hier ist schon ein bisschen besser. Danke.
Right, back here for the second half action here at the EUF Summer Tour in Heilbronn. Ravi Vasudevan with Christian Gaffney. 8-4 Gentle up right now. Christian, what are your thoughts on the first half between these two teams?
Well, we saw a sloppy beginning of the game with both teams committing a lot of unforced errors. We were expecting Gentle to be the favorites here, but 7Schwaben really began by holding their own. They went down maybe a break or two, but stayed really tight. But then at the end of that half, Gentle really showed their class and pulled away a bit. And I think as they get their feet under them, especially with their D-line offense, I expect to see more of that. From 7Schwaben, uncharacteristically sloppy O-line play, maybe a bit of nerves, but I expect them to tighten up a little bit as well. I see a lot of early morning jitters and people getting their legs under them.
As an offensive leader, I think you've been a captain at times, what do you tell a team in a halftime if it's just jitters and execution errors? How do you help teams get out of that? First, we'll take a look at the shot. We'll talk about that in a sec. Contested ball up in the air, and Gentle comes down with it. That's Feder van Bogaerts with the D. Gentle now on the counterattack.
Ravi, I think what I tend to tell my teammates is that nobody has to be the hero, and all we have to do is trust each other. So if you try to be the hero, if you try to single-handedly... Oh, that's an amazing grab! We've got a Callahan in the end zone for 7Schwaben! Oh my goodness, what a play! And that could be a real momentum shifter in the second half, right off the bat.
That's Gregor Schwab there doing it for his team. You saw the wayward pass. Ofori just couldn't hang on to it, and Schwab gets the better of it. Callahan here to start the second half. 8-5 now. Sorry, continue your story about offensive trust.
Maybe Gentle got a little sleepy there in the half, took for granted their lead. Maybe they need to lock back in. No, but like I was saying, it's all about trust. It's all about doing the small things and letting the offense come to you. As long as no one's trying to be the hero, things should really fall into place. Take a deep breath, hit the swings, get a little movement, and the things you know tend to come back to you. I try to advise against big strategic tweaks or overthinking. Really just tell people that I trust them and they should trust their teammates. And maybe that's what they said, because it worked out here. That was a great play, great hustle play, and they'll be fired up to do it again here. Let's see what they can do.
So we'll see Gentle's O-line for the first time in the second half. Bumalal and Krushak in the backfield. Krushak gets to Bumalal. Gentle again in this horizontal look. 7Schwaben coming out in a sort of arrowhead zone look to stop the pull play. Seems to have worked out. Krana now on the sideline. Stuffed to Krana. Krushak. Wayward pass, but it's not defended well, and Bouchon reads it better. Gets it into Bumalal. Bumalal goes up into the sky for Dave Novak. Dave Novak and Beauchamp both in the area, and Novak comes down with it. Again, just trusting their athletes to do the work, and Gentle's O-line takes it 9-5.
Yet another nearly forced turn by the 7Schwaben zone. What I'm seeing there is that their arrowhead or their cup is playing very aggressively near the disc and saying, we're going to give you this big swing over the top. And that's twice now that swing has gone awry. This one just barely managing to catch it after the brush. That first one not working. So I like that. I like that defense from the Schwaben.
I wonder if he could have gone for the catch there. It looked like it was just in reach, but he went for the tip. And I don't know if that was the mistake, because I really thought that was his. He had the position. He had his eyes on it. Just couldn't come down with the disc.
Catch your D's is a cliche, but it's always right.
Cliches are usually cliches for a reason.
Cliches are cliches for a reason, I agree. One player to spotlight there was the man at the receiving end of that huck, David Novak. Yeah. He hasn't played with Gentle before, I believe. Is that true?
I think this is his first season, yeah, with Gentle.
He's one of the stars of Czechia. He's a sort of utility knife player. He can throw, he can catch, he's all over the place. He's extremely athletic, and I wasn't surprised to see him come down with that one. He's really great in the air.
So now we'll see Stuttgart come out on O. Algaya gets it across to Siedler. Algaya looking for an option, eventually goes across to Schenkel. Schenkel swings it onto the sideline, and that's just too far. And Jan Siedler gives it back to Gentle. Dante Simoons to pick up. It looks like Stuttgart is going to go into a bit of a zony look. Worked out for them on the last time they turned it over. Got that Callahan. This time still going into it, even though there's a much shorter field for Gentle. We're seeing a lot of teams favoring that short field zone now, staying with it for a bit longer than teams used to do maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Big hammer gives them an opportunity, and that's just a big bosh from Daniel Schenkel. Bit of a dangerous play, to be honest, but I hope everybody's okay. Looks like Mattia Willems is getting up on his own accord. That's good. Good to see. But the zone did provide an opportunity. Sadly, this time it was a foul that came out of it. Nice swing across for Gentle. Collected very casually there by Fliege. Schwartz. Another blade across to Fliege. Seems to be his favorite look. Zone applying pressure, but of course, whenever there's no wind, there's always those over-the-top options. Down the line from Schwartz to Fliege, and another red zone turnover from the Gentle O-line. Gentle D-line, sorry. I'm losing count of how many they've lost in the red zone so far here this game, Christian.
Somewhere between 2 and 12, I'd say.
Puck goes up again. Schwartz is in the area, and he breaks it apart. Gentle get another opportunity. Schwartz picks up immediately. Probably frustrated at himself for turning that last one over. Cotton. Swings it across. Schwartz now with it on the sideline. He has a deep option streaking. Off to the simple swing to Simoons. Van Bogaerts with it now in the middle of the field. It seems that Stuttgart has melted into match defense now. Willems now has it, goes for the shot into the end zone. And that's another goal there for Fedde Van Bogaerts. And Gentle Zoo managed to hold on to this one. They're now up, I believe, 10-5.
And the big difference I'm seeing in this game so far is really just the percentage of Hucks come down with. 7Schwaben is playing the style they want to play, but unfortunately they just haven't really come down with any of the 50-50 so far. They obviously want better than 50-50, but they're used to putting it up because they win some of those battles. And so this 5-point discrepancy, they're going to be kicking themselves if they didn't come down with a few of those high balls. And again, that was an example of one they could have gotten on defense. He was in position, pulled up and didn't make the contact, so we like to see a safe play there, but maybe an opportunity for a D.
That's often something when you go into international play. These are two teams from different countries. You might be more comfortable playing against people you know who you can win those 50-50 battles on, but when you go against a team you're not as familiar with, you think, okay, this works in Germany, it will probably work here, but Gentle showing, no, we have those things in the air. Like something on the teams I've been playing with recently that are working on with our deep shots is to try to really avoid looks like that. We want our Hucks to be into space, driven out so that the player can run onto it, not one that's floating over that you have to have a battle for. And it seems 7Schwaben liking to do that bit of, they're not as attuned to driving their Hucks out. They're more like, get it up there and get our athlete to get it.
I agree with that.
We'll see if they can clean things up here. Algaya gets to Haas. Haas not a Schwab, who had the Callahan earlier this game. Let's see what he does on offense. A lot of very short passes so far. Eventually they're up to about half field with Schwab on the sideline. Ofori there on the mark, giving lots of trouble, as he tends to do. Nice swing pass around from Schwaben. Handler movement looking a little better here from 7Schwaben. Not holding on to this for too long, always taking those immediate passes if they have them. Haas now at the give-go. Haas being bothered by the Ofori mark. Eventually calls the foul. So here's 7Schwaben going into that vertical stack setup, and I think the player was not ready yet. There's a accepted foul. There's the pass to Allgaier in the center. Somebody should be open wide and all alone, but they're not seeing it. It's in the back of the end zone there is the option. Schwab now. Nice inside pass. Haas now with it on middle of the field.
Yes!
Swung across. Shot to the end zone, and that one's going to work. And I believe that is Benjamin Schlechter with another goal for 7Schwaben.
One thing I'd really like to drive home for the viewer at home is really just how hot it is today. It's the first game, but it's already a scorcher. And I think if you see a little bit of lethargy on offense and defense, that's why. These teams are really working out there in these long points. I often find myself thinking maybe the handlers could be a bit more dynamic and really try to push through this zone, or just strike up field a little more. But then I remember it's real hot out there, and they're probably feeling that already. Yeah.
That's something I've done. I'm one of those types of handlers that likes to push through, and sometimes you don't realize how much you fatigue yourself, and at the end of a hot game like this, it can come back to bite you. So maybe Stuttgart a bit smarter than we are here, Christian.
Robbie, who have you been playing with lately?
This season I'm playing with UFO, which we're also going to Beach Club Worlds later this season. Played with them. We're about 30, I think we're 36 in the ranking somewhere right now. Okay season for us. First time trying to do this at a European level.
Nice.
Enjoying the new structure. Boomalal now with it against the Stuttgart zone. Again, a little bit of an arrowhead. as the players downfield, I think, trying to play a bit switchy, pick up person defense, not really zone, but also not quite person either. So far doing a good job of giving trouble to this Gentle O-line. They've had to throw 4 or 5 passes, still not even at their brick mark yet. Hammer over the top, that's going to open things up. Bouchon gets it, launches it deep immediately. And once that, such a good zone, once that one throw opens it up, it's just, they're so good at capitalizing immediately on any mismatch they have downfield. Gentle go up 11-6 and still in a commanding lead of this game.
Yeah, I think I would say that Gentle seems to be a bit stronger in their cutter downfield play, where 7Schwaben are a bit more confident in their handler space. And you could see there that as long as those arrowheads sagging the lane were able to keep it contained, everything was under control. And as soon as it got into that wide open cutter space, that's when the people could really work with an open field and take advantage of their matchups. Really crucial that once that gets through, that everyone on defense is just sprinting back to try to sort of get in front of the play. Otherwise, it's just a one-on-one in the end zone like we just saw.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Robbie, at this point, I'm going to be watching for the defense of Paulo Fori. You see him about to pull the disc, or maybe coming off. Oh, he's subbing out. But you saw him last point. He was giving really aggressive marks, which I really liked. One was a foul, maybe a touch too much. But he's really bringing the energy, not only with his style and sunglasses, but with his aggressive marks and setting the tone there. I really like that.
Yeah, he was a great breakout player for the U24 side. Wasn't the De Craan or Dan Desmarais of that team, but was really, really doing a lot of work on handler defense. Like to see him coming out in the adult club scene now. Right now, we got Stuttgart coming out of their vert stack to see if they can clean things up. Moments of things working really well for them, but every now and then just execution errors seems to be the story of Stuttgart so far. Right now, again, swinging across, and there the Huck goes up again with steps. This time, can he reel it in? Yes, that one works out. Number 42, Patrick Kesper with the goal, and that's much better offense from Stuttgart.
Interestingly, just a slight hitch in his step there, a little miscommunication when the throw went up, but he was still able to track it down. Really nice. Again, when they look for the end zone, they tend to score. Can't score unless you throw it into the end zone, right, Robbie?
Exactly, and that throw a little bit better. Still a little bit blady and floaty. He didn't have to sprint his way down to it, but at least into a space where the defender couldn't go for 50-50 ball, and that made that catch much easier, even as I think he was staring directly into the sun there to catch it. That was probably the biggest worry on that play.
Maybe that's what happened with that drop earlier.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Really bright sun, low in the sky. That one looked like a tough little catch at the end too. So, sun is a factor, as they say. With that, I'll give everyone their daily reminder to wear sunscreen. It's so important.
Good advice.
Yep.
Good advice. There's a song about that.
There is. Baz Luhrmann remix. Everyone should check it out on SoundCloud if they haven't heard it.
Yeah, the youth probably don't know about that one.
What do the youth know, Robbie? Just kidding. We love our Gen Zers.
Nice hammer across to Bouchon. This is how they broke through the zone last time. Now working with Staf de Crane. Boomalal now has it. Novak. Novak finds Boomalal in a little bit of a sneaky space. Boomalal goes to the hammer. There was a tip on it. Can Bouchon hold on to it? In traffic, and he's, wow, that is a messy play. And Bouchon is going to call foul. He'll get it there. Bouchon rocking the Yaka shorts, repping Noisy-le-Sec. De Crane now. Bouchon with a nice around pass, calmly collecting himself, and Gentle get the goal. That is, I believe, Perian de Force with the goal for Gentle.
Robbie, let's zoom out a bit for a second. What can you tell me about other tournaments going on in Europe this weekend? And what are the stakes?
Yeah, so as we said, this is the final weekend that decides who gets to qualify for the EUCF. Every team is trying to put as much data into the algorithm to hope that they come out of the calculation in the top 16. The other thing that's at stake here is that any team that wins a tournament this weekend gets an automatic bid. So you don't, if you can just go out and win, you don't have to worry about your ranking. We've got, in the open division, we've got summer tours in Chambéry and summer tours in Leicester. Leicester is mostly UK and Irish teams. They're fighting it out. I don't think the play has started there yet, as they're in a different time zone. In Chambéry, we see that the women's division has started up, but so far the open division later with teams like Jet Set Quixotes, One Tribe, looking to secure themselves in the top 16 starting in the next round. There'll be coverage all over this this weekend, so I'm sure if you're on live.ultimatefederation.eu, you can flip to any channel and watch all the Ultimate you want. Hopefully stick here with us. Maybe you can do some picture-in-picture. Of course, you'll keep our commentary on the audio. But
naturally.
All teams playing to try and secure themselves either a higher seeding or into the EUCF or just as high a ranking as they can. Lots on the line. Really exciting weekend here for European Ultimate. So now Stuttgart here, trying to get that 8th point to make things a little more sweaty for Gentle. As we said, they should be aiming for 15-8 or better if they want to hold on to their ranking. If they want to improve it, they have to do better than that, of course. Gentle here coming out with a sort of, I want to say like a more like a 2-3-2 zone look. Ofori there seems to be, has the job of just marking all the time, which I think is a good shout for this Gentle side. Allgaier swings across to Haas. They've now moved almost to their attacking brick mark. Allgaier now with it beyond the 2. Hammer over the top. There's a Gentle player in there, but it's going to be collected. Great shot by Stuttgart, and they get that 8th point. It's now 12-8. Gentle still in front.
Seeing a few more handlers in the latter half of this game as both teams get used to the zone playing against them and seeing that that's a good option with no wind. Ravi, who are the teams this weekend at this tournament who are on the bubble? Who are the teams for whom this weekend is really the most important?
Let's take a look here. If we look at this tournament, it seems, I think Heidi's and Bad Skid are both, Bad Skid is sitting at 14th, looking to secure their position, stay in it. Heidi's right now at 19th, but I know one of their games will get discounted in the blowout rule. I won't go into all those details later. I think they are going to be higher ranked later than this. So I think those two teams are really ones that are trying to get themselves into that final position. The next team down I see in the ranking is Franken at 25th. They probably have to do quite a bit more if they want to get themselves in contention. Don't think it's quite in reach. Whereas other teams like Gentle and Wall City are a bit more comfortable. Wall City sitting at 3rd, Gentle sitting at 6th. Wall City probably trying to secure a top 4 seed, and Gentle just hoping to stay, somewhat comfortable. I don't think they totally mind, but getting a top 4 seed would be great for Wall City because then you can avoid having a pool with the likes of Moon, Lafota, or Clapham. So a lot of teams with a lot to play for, different things to play for, but still a lot to play for this weekend.
Mm-hmm. I have to imagine that Bad Skid is really eyeing that wild card slot.
Yeah,
they're sitting on the bubble. There's a chance they get knocked out, but they're here in their home turf, playing probably in front of their friends and family, and they think they can win it for sure. And I wouldn't put it past them. That would be a real coup for them.
Yeah, I think that the top 3 are probably a bit above the rest, which would be Gentle, Wall City, and Bad Skid. It'll be really interesting when we get to the pointy end of this tournament, how that shapes up. Have Wall City played Bad Skid yet this season?
They have, and we lost at the DFV Pokal, which is sort of our intra-Germany Pokal tournament. Yeah, doesn't affect the season, the German championship. It's just a one-off tournament.
It used to be the qualifier for EUCRs, right?
It did.
Now it's no longer. There is no EUCR, so that doesn't really fit anymore.
But now it's just for glory and bragging rights. Bad Skid was able to knock out Wall City in the semifinals.
Okay.
En route to winning that tournament fairly easily in the finals. So they're sort of an aging lion, but they really need to be respected. Their O-line can play with anyone, and so I really wouldn't put it past them to have a good showing this tournament.
I saw Wall City missing a couple key players this weekend, including you, of course, but most importantly. We'll talk about that later when we get those teams on stream. Here, let's stick to Stuttgart and Gentle, 13-8. The shot goes up from Stuttgart. There's Schwab, who got the Callahan earlier. He reads it, milks it into the end zone, and that works to keep themselves alive to score 13-9 here in this contest.
And that's that classic Schwab offense. Vert stack, big huck, just looking for the end zone. I'm surprised that Gentle didn't have a bit more sort of understanding that was coming. It looked like they were adjusting earlier, but this one was really wide open. Kudos to 7Schwaben for taking it.
Yeah, you said earlier that you saw Gentle really doing good switching to stop that deep game. I don't know if they've stopped doing that or maybe Schwaben has altered their formation, so that becomes a little more difficult. We'll have to keep an eye on that next time Schwaben's offense goes out on the field.
Yeah, it's hard to say if it's a team strategy or if sometimes the person in the back of the stack just notices it happening in real time and calls that switch. Yeah. I would be advocating to do it every time.
Well, I asked Lander de Krana before this game what their style would be in this game, and he says, well, we don't really know. We're going to find out. We haven't really done much in the last few months of the summer break, so we're going to discover our style. So I would say it's probably more the latter of a player just kind of feeling it out than a full strategy.
Yeah, you might have even asked the wrong person because he's been in Valencia for the past 5 months, so he's a bit of a stranger to this team this year as well.
He knows even less than they do.
Yep.
Boomalal now. Boomalal launches deep. And that's just easy money. Perfect shot there from Boomalal. And number 34, Wolf Osterlink, collects that one. One of the easiest catches, easiest scores we've seen all game. 14-9, Gentle up.
Looks to me like both teams have sort of lost either their legs or their fire for tough defense. A little bit content to just trade hucks. Yeah, nice quick points leading to the tail end of this game.
And there we see the nice, easy collection. Two defenders trying to chase. See there, at least number 38, Hendrik, yes. It's putting in an effort, but just can't get there with Osterlink in pursuit.
That's a gorgeous throw. Just
Yeah.
way out in front, flat, floaty, 10 out of 10.
All right, we got time out here on the field. We'll be right back in a moment to close this one out. It's 14-9 now, Gentle up on 7Schwaben. Welcome back as we're here at the tail end of this game. I'll see if Stuttgart can keep things going a little longer, if Gentle can close it out. Gentle from Ghent, Belgium, up 14-9 against 7Schwaben from Stuttgart, Germany, here in this EUF Summer Tour game. Christian, what do you expect to see this point from Stuttgart?
Well, I bet you that timeout was as much about fatigue as strategy. So they're going to come out fresh. Hopefully both teams will have good legs, maybe return to this grinding, better defense we saw at the beginning of the game. I'm rooting for Stuttgart to get a hold, to keep this game going. I'm enjoying the show.
Let's keep an eye on their deep shots and see if any of the switching strategy works out for Gentle this time. We see a streaking player deep, just as I say that. Nice shot in the end zone. It's going to be contested, though, but this time Stuttgart comes down with it, trusting their athlete to do the work. And 7Schwaben put one more on the board, 15-10.
Very, very nice. There was a little bit of a missed assignment on that first handler, so he had a little bit of an unmarked shot towards the end zone, took advantage of it, came down with it, and now it's up to 7Schwaben to get 5 breaks in a row. Not impossible, but an uphill climb for sure.
Yeah, it's Jan Seidler with the score. 7Schwaben have already outdone the algorithm, so they are 10 points to the good as opposed to 8, what they needed. So they will be bolstering the ranking a little bit, but I'm sure they're trying to get as many points as they can on the board. So far, it's been difficult for them to do much against the Gentle O-line, though. I don't believe the Gentle O-line's been broken yet this game.
I beg to differ. We saw an amazing Callahan in the first half.
That was an offensive point. So Stuttgart turned it over and then scored the Callahan. So
apologies. I must be dehydrated.
Gotta hydrate. Gotta hydrate. So we'll see if they can pull off what I don't believe they've done this game. We don't have stats keepers here, but. That's my thoughts. You see there Stef de Krana fielding the pull. Bouchon. Bouchon and Boumalal, who's had some great throws so far this game, gets it over to Hrušák. Bouchon gets in the middle to DeForce. And that's a turn for Stuttgart. We'll see if they can capitalize this time. There we see Clemens Wolfnagel, a name I haven't said too much, pick up. Starting to anchor this D-line offense. There's his shot going to the end zone. They're going for it all in one. There's two gentle defenders in the area. And it comes down in gentle hands. So that one not going the good of Stuttgart. Gentle got another chance to close this game out. Hrušák. Blades it across. Another shot into space for Boumalal. There's space. There's a target. He goes for it. Not quite in the end zone is DeForce, but he's got the disc. Bouchon makes the move. Sells Algar to the cleaners and now is wide open without any mark. Gets it back to Stef de Krana. Pumps it back to Boumalal. Bouchon's looking for it in one, but not getting the option. Gentle opting to be a little more safe. Swing things around. Bouchon and Boumalal continue to work together in that backfield. There's the pass up to Hrušák. Bouchon's going for it. Nice switch by Stuttgart to stop that one. And there Bouchon gets the front cone, slams it into the pylon, and Gentle take the game 15-10.
Gets the disc on the cone, says adieu to his opponents, and that's the game. Game one in the books, 15-10, Gentle over 7Schwaben.
I think Schwaben feel good about that game. It is a matchup that they were favored to lose 15-8. They got to 15-10 and played well. I think it is Gentle just were a stronger side here, and that athlete-to-athlete battle just didn't work out for them.
It's true. I'm curious going forward in this tournament how Gentle will play against some of the higher seeds. I'd say they probably think they can play better and execute a little better on offense than they did that game. It'll be curious to watch if that's a personnel issue, as they're missing a couple players, or just as they're getting their feet under them at the beginning of the tournament. But I'm really looking forward to both these teams playing other competition going forward, as we see high fives around, spirit reigns supreme, another good game in the books.
So that'll do it here for the first game of the weekend. Don't go anywhere, we got more here. Next round, I believe, will not be commentated, but we will have some here. There's games all across Europe here at live.ultimatefederation.eu on solid sports coverage of the European Ultimate Federation Summer Tours. We'll see you in the next one.
Meinung.